Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into our Friday live stream. It's your boy, Dave Neal, stand-up comic, host of the Rush Hour podcast, and also Bachelor Nation News. So much going on here. We've got a good amount of people that are going to be hanging out with us today. I know it's a holiday week, but you know it's going to be a good episode when I have my in-ear monitors in. I think I'm having a pretty good hair day, if you don't mind me saying so. It's you can't always have good hair days when you have a young baby, because these babies, they will pull at your hair. You should have seen the disaster we had this morning with regard to the results of some of the food my son ate. But hey, here we are. All right, so I've got a lot of good stuff to get into today. A lot of good stuff. But here's how it's going to work. We are going to make some stew. So we have to prepare the stew before we cook it. And that's where we are right now. We're going to wait for some people to come in. Very big announcements to get to, with multiple stories regarding the Bachelor Clayton scenario. I wish I had other Bachelor news to report. No, to be quite honest, I don't. I don't care. Whatever. It's barrel scraping season, and never have we had a barrel to scrape as hard and as strongly as we will scrape this barrel, known as the Bachelor Clayton paternity scandal, or what has now become a all-out war with a podcast network in Scottsdale, Arizona. Not only is that happening, concurrently, it appears as though we have begun to call out the Haitian website. Didn't have that on my bingo card for 2024. The Haitian website. Erica says that color looks great on you. Well, thank you so much. It's I found these shirts at Old Navy. I bought like 1,000 of them for like $4. Carrie says, marked safe from Baby Jingy and Laura's lies. Yes, very safe here. I'm going to be discussing that. Tamara says, hair talk, is this a Megan Fox stream? Well, I'm just here to say, I didn't know I had good hair today until I took I had my hat wherever it is, and I took my hat off, and I was like, damn, like it actually came out in slow motion, and I was like, oh my gosh, wow, we're doing it today. Thelma said, it's 3 minutes until 11 a.m., and I'm in bed with the crud. Thanks for the entertainment. What's crud? What does that mean? Is that slang for COVID? What is that? Do you have bird flu? Hopefully not. Did you eat any of those dirty eggs from Costco that they recalled? Carrie, good to see you. Hello, everybody. Brooks, everyone else. Good to see everyone in the crowd here. So I'm going to go about 60 minutes. That's about how long. Not Bob or Walters. I'm going to go 60 minutes here. And Madeline says the hair is herring. Well, that's the plan. That's the plan for the day. And I'm going to share with you guys some new information regarding this Haitian website that we've been looking into and how bizarre it is. First, let's go to some nice moment of thanks. First of all, I want to thank our pal Denise. She runs our philanthropy here at the Rush Hour podcast and our Dave Neal community. And we wouldn't be able to do all of the gift giving if it wasn't for her. Here was an email we got from somebody who was one of our single moms in the wish list. She said, hi, Denise, I'm overwhelmed with gratitude. This is what this amazing community has blessed my kids with. I wish I could personally thank every single one of you that has sent something and added sweet little notes in the packages. Dave, you are 1 in a million, and this community is like no other. Thank you. Well, I take it with great pride and joy that our audience could provide this level of gifts. Now, they provided an update, and I'm going to share a nice video with you guys. Here's the update. I'm going to screen grab this because I don't want to share any addresses. So let me screen grab this update we have here. And by the way, we do have breaking news to get to. So we'll get to the breaking news once we hit enough people in the audience. Let's get to 400 and then we'll hit the breaking news story. Trust me, it's a feel-good story. We have feel-good breaking news stories here. But then we have this update from that same person. Hi again, Denise and Dave. Just wanted to let you and Dave know that the gifts the community purchased for my kids for Christmas mean more to me than you realize. And it's like, first of all, trust me, no, I understand. I do realize how far a couple gifts from strangers can go. My mom entered into hospice care a few days before Christmas and is in her last couple of days with us. These gifts freed up some funds for me, so I was able to use my own money to fuel to drive back and forth to my parents' house. I'm in North Carolina and they are in Virginia. So having these gifts for them warmed my heart even more and was so helpful to me during this time. It may have not been the best Christmas of all time because of this sadness, but we made the absolute best out of the time we had and the gifts they were able to open. Thank you again. And that's part of what we love about the community is it's not about helping people get the best of times. It's about mitigating the worst of times. And if someone's going to fall on hard times, what can community do to make that fall feel like it's at least surrounded by good people? 90 up votes, 2 down votes. Make sure to hit the like button. Meg says, listening while at work. Oh, good for you. Auntie says, your hair gives Meg Fox a run for her money. We need side by side. Well, look, no offense to Meg Fox. We love her, but this is what left-leaning hair looks like. This is good. This is progressive. I got progressive hair. There's no split ends on this hair. Okay. So anyhow, we have one more nice story to share for you guys. This is a video that was sent to Dave Neal's community, our community on Facebook, Dave Neal Community. Thank you all so much for your generosity with the single mom's wish list. Here's just a little bit of the gifts sent little gifts sent for Ella. Let's turn the sound on here.
And Batch family, I just wanted to say thank you so much for all the gifts and generosity for my little girl, Ella. She has loved every single thing, wanted to play with.
Look at all these fun toys. There's so many fun. Look at this here. We have tables and little bikes and scooters and trinkets.
Bluey sleep mat to her new dishes and her.
Oh, she got plastic dishes. Teach these kids young.
Play food so that she can utilize her new kitchen. So she's just super excited. If you watch the video I'm sharing here, you'll see her already wearing her little Minnie Mouse.
And by the way, really good audio on this video.
Purse and her shoes and playing with the play mop and cleaning set. So just doing all sorts of things here. And I do just want to say, of course, thank you so much. I feel so blessed to be a part of this community, and you guys are so wonderful for doing everything you've done for us and the other moms out there. So I do just want to wish you guys all a Merry Christmas again here and Happy New Year. And cheers to a wonderful 2025 for everybody.
Cheers to that. And by the way, Denise, this is such good work that we have. Look, I understand. I never want to put pressure on moms to share what they have received because it's a very personal thing. And in some cases, maybe they don't want it public because some sort of weird custody thing or whatever the case may be. It's different for everybody. But those that do want to share, I do think it goes a long way psychologically. This is something I've spoken about for a long time. My channel started taking off when I started sharing the tips that would come in. People appreciated seeing my reaction to some of the tips and the funds coming in. This might sound crazy, but just for those, looking to kind of do their own thing, some of you guys may remember when we started getting $3 a day. And I called it guacamole money. We were getting like, $3. Oh, the video made $3 today. Maybe the next day would be 40 cents, right? And we took that and we went from 30 cents to $3 a day to a 6-figure channel. And it actually happened relatively quickly when I was able to go full time with it. And it's just a good example of like knowing when you can put all of your energy into something that you'll be able to, like YouTube does a great job of providing an audience that has like-minded values. And I think those in the audience that see this, they are more likely to contribute themselves because they see it immediately paying off. They always say the guy that gives someone charity, they boost their dopamine levels, but then just the person watching the guy give to charity, they also boost their dopamine levels. So within this community, if you're not able to give, you can at least see the product of those that could give, and it's inspiring. So anyhow, I love to share these. It's very nice. Claude says, Dave is immortal. Dave is all. That's not, well, I'm getting old. I'm getting old. Boom, 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 boom. Beep, boop, beep, boop, boo. Okay, so anyhow, let's trying to catch up on folks. Let's do this. Shall we share some breaking news? Do you guys want to see some breaking news that we could get into? We only have 380 people in the chat, but I'm going to do it. I'll tell you what. If you guys leave a comment right now, letting me know if you want the breaking news, I'll share the breaking news. But I don't want to share the breaking news if you don't want to hear it. It's good news. We could use good news on a Friday. So just leave a comment right now if you want the breaking news or not. And if I don't hear back from you guys, I'll just assume you don't want the breaking news, which is fine too. We don't have to get to the breaking news. So I guess I'm not going to get much of a response to you. So maybe you guys don't want the breaking news. All right, well, let's move on to something else. If you don't want to see the breaking news, that's fine too. I guess we'll go on to I'm getting the comments in right now. What's that? They want the breaking news? Well, I guess if we're going to do the breaking news, we might as well do it right with the breaking news button here. And I know you might be thinking, Dave, oh my gosh, what breaking news can we get to? Well, it's a Friday and we have breaking news in Bachelor Nation. Specifically, the Clayton trial that's happening out there. You guys want to hear what this breaking news is? I'm going to break it for you. Very important stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased on this last Friday of 2024 to announce that Mike Marcini is expecting their second child. Mike and his beautiful lady right here. T-minus 1 month until the arrival of number 2. How about that, folks? Isn't that exciting? A beautiful family out here on the West Coast. And I've asked them to share their baby registry. They said they don't need much, but hey, I think if we can get a hold of a few diapers, maybe we could send them their way. Because isn't this nice? I mean, you probably couldn't ask for a better, happier story on a Friday. 1 month away. Baby due end of January, early February. I think it's actually, I'm not sure exactly when the baby's due, but in the late stages of winter, or mid to late winter. So this is beyond a happy story to share today. I can give you firsthand information. Mike and his beautiful partner and their beautiful baby are a really great family. So we're very happy for them. A family we should know nothing about. We should live in a world where we know nothing about them. But sadly, due to scenarios we've been covering, the Clayton Laura Owens story, we do know about Mike. A guy who initially I thought wanted, it was so funny because I just assumed Mike was this victim number one and he was this character we didn't really know anything about. And I kind of assumed maybe he didn't want to be a part of, uncovering the truth. Whoever. I mean, we only knew what we read about in a TEDx talk or saw in a TEDx talk and things like that. And then I actually one day saw in my others folder, because I got to tell you, my Instagram is crazy filled with, I got a lot of spam. I got a lot of messages from people and I just can't get back to everybody. I try every once in a while, the baby will be asleep and I'll dig through another 100 messages, but I try. And I used to be so good. You guys know this. I used to respond to every single comment on every single video. For my own mental health, I can't do that anymore. It was literally, my hairs were falling out. I had to protect the haircut, right? Stephanie says, I was thinking the same thing. That this was the breaking news. So anyhow, when I saw it, that I had a message from Mike, it was, very nice to see that, he was obviously completely different from what he was portrayed to be. He's actually a very docile guy. Spoke to him for hours. Just a very calm guy, smart, tall, good-looking guy. Everything that, you wouldn't think if you heard a different side of him. Yeah, so anyway, that's where they're at. So lots of babies in the world, in the Clayton world. Lots of babies from, now having what's approaching a 1-year-old with Greg Gillespie's wife to, there's we're going to need a nursery over there. So anyway, let's move on from that. Yes, and again, come on, look, big, beautiful baby bump, beautiful girl there. So the whole deal. So we'll move it on from that. All right, so let's get into what we're going to talk about today, which is Well, a couple things, but first let's go to PS Creative Studios. They set a deadline for December 23rd. I'm going to share this story of how PS Creative Studios is possibly going to be suing Laura Owens, and then I'm going to share the story of the livesayhaiti.com, the article that was written in very favorable light to Laura Owens. If there's any other stories I'm missing, please let me know. But Reg Angel says, I hope you can hire someone to filter or respond to messages. I appreciate that. Here's what I've learned about myself. I'm a control freak because I've let people in the past, some of you guys know who, it's not someone who's part of our community. I've let people in the past have a little bit of control, and it's a whole thing. So for the most part, social media, actually I learned this from Caitlin Bristow. I was like, how do you go through your DMs? And she was like, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If people get a hold of me, they get a hold of me. Some people do, some people don't. Okay. So here's where we leave off. On December 23rd. Today is the deadline. We spoke with our lawyers this morning for the next steps, if she doesn't just end this now. So this was the deadline. Christmas Eve's Eve, Festivus, was the deadline for Laura Owens to apologize to PS Creative Studios for defaming them with saying they have bad sound quality and bad professionalism, and B, that was also the day that she was to pay them back. So Laura Owens did a chargeback on her credit card of $350, which I believe is above the amount where it becomes a higher level crime. BS says, bring on the defamation suit. All of Jingy and Low info will become evidence. I don't know if they're going to sue them for defamation. Maybe. I don't think there's much that they'll be able to get out of Laura Owens. I believe her value, her net worth, like, first of all, any money she has will be going to Clayton since he won $150,000. But have you ever played Monopoly and you just like, you ever doing so bad in Monopoly, you're like, I don't even care anymore. You're selling off your boardwalk. You're jumping in, you're going into prison just for the free healthcare. You're hooking by Atlantic Avenue. You ever do that? You're giving hand jobs on the, you know what I mean? You're trading an old fashioned for a buck or two. That's how you know you're not doing good on what's it called again? I just said it. That's how you're not doing good at Monopoly when you're like, honey, I'll give you a back massage. Give me $100. I need to buy this thing. I feel like that's how Laura is right now with her money situation. She's probably so broke that she's like, geez, she's like, you know what? I'm gonna have to file bankruptcy. Who cares if I get sued for defamation? I can't afford any of this. She might just be like, you know what? Maybe it's a better life for me living in the state penitentiary. I don't know. So anyhow, that's where they and our good pal Lauren said, let me guess, they didn't do it. And of course, that didn't happen. So we'll go to some updates here. That was the deadline. And then PS Creative Studio says, sure didn't. Onwards we go. Illegal chargebacks are financial fraud. This is what they said yesterday. Illegal chargebacks are financial fraud in Arizona. So there will be consequences for the actions. It will just take a bit longer than necessary. Our legal team at Rose Law Group is on it. All right, so who the hell's Rose Law Group? Your source for current news that matters to Arizona. Follow for real estate, economy, government, and politics, energy, and environment. So they have a decent little following there, Rose Law Group. So as it turns out, let me do this. Let's go to PS Creative's Instagram, because I think that's where they posted this. But PS Creative apparently has some connections, and this is how you fight lunacy, is by having your own connections, right? So this law group, Rose Law Group, apparently PS Creative Studios, let's go here, has some connections to them. They says someone said, that poor studio got Owensed. Yeah, you don't want to get Owensed. So they said what they didn't know. Our producer's dad is a managing partner My dad's a managing partner. Well, my dad's going to sue your dad into oblivion. My dad's giving hand jobs on Monopoly because he's so in debt. You never did hand jobs playing Monopoly? Stephanie says, Schnitzel Ninja's comment. Let's go back up to... Oh, thanks. So anyway, yeah, let's move on. What they didn't know, our producer's dad is a managing partner at one of the very top firms in Arizona. We waited as long as we could for them to do the right thing, but now it's in professional hands. Help us win. So there they are, and giving, their, whatever, we call this a dick measuring contest. This is a legal dick measuring contest to say, hey, we've got people that are connected to us that are willing to do whatever it takes, because that's one of the reasons why. Someone says, "What version of Monopoly were you playing, Dave?" You mean to tell me hooking during Monopoly wasn't okay. Who wants a smooch? I need to get a few. I need to get that. Out of jail. Prison. I play prison rules. That's what I do. So either way, we as long as we roast things, but now it's in professional hands. So yeah, we'll have to see what this means. My guess is I don't say cynical, but when it comes to legally, like what? Now, by all means, PS Creative Studios, they did take a hit publicly. They were accused of having bad audio. This is worse as you can get if you're a podcast studio. You'd rather be accused of having a rat infestation. Bad audio, that's literally the reason people want to come there, right? So you want to make sure you have that, but at the same time, like I said, what are they going to get out of Laura? That's kind of the problem here is I don't know if anyone knows what they're going to get out of Laura. People are asking for the breaking news. I already shared it. Go backwards. So anyhow, yeah. That's your update with the that's your update with PS. Oh, there's one more slide. So that's not an update. So what will come next is yet to be seen. All right, so now I want to share with you guys what's happening with this article. It is a bizarre article. Live Say Haiti. I mean, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Live Say Haiti is the website that yesterday it was revealed. I mean, look, they've still got new articles coming out. Authority Magazine Telehealth Best Practices. What the hell is this article? What is this website? So several days ago, they released an article on Laura Owens. I don't even know if we can find it. Let's see if we can find it. It was on Christmas Eve. They released an article, and they've got all these other quack articles that I guess when you look at it, from the outside, these articles kind of look like real written articles, but when you actually look at it, it's completely insane. Fans flooded Laura's posts with joyful messages and congrats. So none of this is true. We've already shared all of this. None of this is true. Claude says, fun fact, Monopoly was originally made as an anti-capitalist game before capitalism got its greasy hands on it. Yes, true. Someone says, why is this Monopoly money sticky? Oh boy. So yeah, anyhow. So the issue with this website and what I think the reason why it's created is that if people search Clayton Echard court or Clayton Echard lawsuit, that they would come up with this article, which is really meant, in my opinion, just to confuse people. It doesn't share anything about faking pregnancy. It only shares about a legal battle. And again, none of it makes sense. But the more interesting thing about this is when you go to whois.com and you type in Live Say Haiti. So who is a domain lookup. When you type in livesayhaiti.com, what you get is the registrant contact is in Phoenix, Arizona. Now, I don't know about you guys, because I'm no expert, but is there a large Haitian population in Phoenix, Arizona that I don't know about? Steve Dobbins says, ironic that Live Say Haiti is a domain registered from Name Silo, which is headquartered in, wait for it, Phoenix, Arizona. Steve, you beat me to it. You beat me to it, Steve. Everyone's on it. Bruce says, Name Silo is an American internet domain registrar and web hosting company headquartered in Phoenix, Arizona. You guys are too good. You guys are too good. You're beating me to the punch here. Speaking of beating, speaking of beating Monopoly, that should be a porno, Beating Monopoly, and it's just a guy who gives hand jobs to win the game. Oh boy. Oh boy. Get your head out of the gutter, folks. Get your head out of the gutter. Board games. Stiff competition. All right, a stroke of luck. What? Okay. I got out of jail with a stroke of luck. Yeah, it turns out Luck is the Puerto Rican guy that was my roommate. Better than a stroke of genius. That was the... Okay. Ruth said nothing in there is about Haiti. What a coincidence, says Erica. Denise says, Dave, when you switch to doing video podcasts, will you still do it with Patreon? Yes. Denise, I'll have relatively the same Patreon work that you guys already see. I'll just be recording video. You guys might, I mean, my computer is going to blow up one of these days. I want to get a gold plaque around my computer. I run 3 monitors and I generally run multiple different apps at the same time to record different versions of what I'm doing. Nancy says, damn, how much have I missed? Nancy, you've missed a lot. We're giving hand jobs on Park Ave. Park Ave's gone to shit. It's gone to shit. You got a hook to stay alive just to get your dental care. I don't know if you knew this. On Fridays, we talk about hand jobs on Monopoly game. Yeah. Bruce says, why Puerto Rican? You know, just because that's what I said. That's why. That's the ethnicity I gave the fictitious roommate in the fictitious hand job scenario. That's where it is. Caitlin Thompson says, Israeli Steve still talking to Jingy? I don't believe so. Ash is hitting on Bruce from Oregon. Oh my gosh. Speaking of hand jobs on Park Ave, we've got a whole, Bruce from Oregon. Careful. The ladies are coming after you. A lot of crosstalk, if you will. Rebel says, sounds like they are a PR company that people pay for to try to reroute searches and try to put a different narrative out there. Yeah. What's interesting is obviously the PR is horseshit, right? But it could have been that she paid for it and didn't realize it was going to come out looking this bad. Now, as some have said, Live Say Haiti is a website that was, I guess, some say it came out in 2011. I don't know. You know, you can buy a domain name and sell it. It could be that it could be. Robin says, get it, Ash. So it could be that let's do a scenario here. Laura might say, all right, I want press about me, but I can't just create a new website because people will know it's me. Let's find a website that's been around for a while. And maybe that's what she did here. Laura in the past with, covering her tracks with Chase J. Jones and other issues, she's been pretty good at hiding her tracks. But in this case, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's just no scenario. Like, she's not famous, but she does call herself a public figure, which is so funny because when you read the article here, I think she literally calls herself a public figure, public image. That's what's so funny. Wait, hold on. That was public image, public eye, narrative through public criticism, handling pregnancy and legal issues in the public eye, public. Here it is. So one of the issues when it comes to defamation is if you're a public figure, it's much harder to defame someone because there's a very obvious reason to be talking about Laura Owens. She's a public figure. She's a podcaster. And of course, she, in my opinion, I think it's a pretty fair opinion, lied about a whole hell of a lot of stuff. I mean, we know she lied. I don't have my button set up. I'm never ready. Hold on. She lied about, a lot of things that we've proven. And it's very hard on a lot of, imagine those things you can never prove. We all have, I think so-and-so stole this. It's so hard to prove anything. And we've got so much proof because all of her
She lied.
Lies are, for the most part, through emails that are faked and websites and this and Chase J. Jones. And when you break all that down and see the lies, you can find the timestamps and all of that. So she claims, I'm not a public figure. I didn't ask for this, blah, blah, blah. I didn't want this. Well, right here, sharing experiences may create a sense of community that eases some burdens they face as public figures, dealing with both joy and strife simultaneously. I think I need to get a bullhorn so I can just be like, and public, like just really get it in there. Henrietta says, Dave with the long and lush hair this morning. By the way, let's take a quick break from this. And I wanted to share with you guys, I have to tell you, it is beyond shocking the level of love that has come into my family this year. So I received this, and I'm not going to share the photo, but I received this nice card from one of our audience members who's probably in the chat room right now. And here's to a good 2025 with opportunities of justice. We like that. And I got a nice photo here, and then I got a nice handwritten note. Dear Tasha, Dave, and sweet August. Don't we love a nice note? We love a nice note. My first thought as I'm reading this is, what unhinged person would write a note? And I go to that way because I forget how nice my audience is. And you don't have to be unhinged to write a note. I forget how precious of a situation I find myself in. I'm a longtime Patreon member, but as I've told you recently, so she goes into a few different things. Love the podcast. I'm invested in the Clayton case, writing the prosecutor. Will it ever end? I start my day with your podcast while doing yoga. Love the podcast. Namaste. Namaste. I'll be your warrior. I know you are not always aware of how you help us get through the tough times. I lost my 26-year-old beautiful daughter in October of 2018 as she was just about to start her career as a diagnostic medical sonographer. She had a rare immune deficiency, but was never in the hospital until she was. She ended up on a waiting list for a lung and bone marrow transplant, but was dropped after acquiring a rare infection. It was and is very tough. She was my best friend. And then she shares a whole bunch with me, and I'm sharing this, and I'm not going to share the photo. I guess I can share like some of the photo here, but like she shares this photo with me of her daughter, and I have to tell you, I appreciate the burden. I appreciate the burden, but there is such a burden to hearing people's stories of love, of lost, of what this channel means to them. She talks about her dog passing away, and now the dog's up with Boone in heaven. How the house feels empty sometimes. She's a retired teacher, and here is somebody who, like many others, has found a community that provides, I guess, a little normalcy in a modern world. One of the things that people struggle with the most, I think, in modern society is having community. And I can't pretend like this community can replicate what you might have live and in the flesh, but it damn sure is better than nothing. And I don't mean better than nothing from my end. I love you guys. I mean better than nothing from the standpoint of like people who have found this community during the pandemic lockdown, to those that found this community after having lost, in this case, an adult daughter. It's, when these letters come in, it's like, it's so, precious. And I don't mean to equate anything I do to anything of any sort of bigger or spiritual calling, but I know, like, when someone goes to confession to a priest, or the priest has to go to people's babies and when their loved ones die, it's a hell of a lot. It's got to be a hell of a lot of emotion for like a faith leader to deal with all of these different people that they might not know, but that share with them such personal things. I am in no means comparing this situation other than to say, keeping like a tab on the love that comes in. that is tragic. You know, like this is a tragic story of someone losing their daughter, but the story is met with hope. Teresa with a super chat. Thank you so much, Teresa. I appreciate that. Oh, Bruce, trust me, I don't want Katie's. I don't want to be her sloppy seconds or whatever. But I would officiate your wedding here, but I don't have much else to say about that. Jen said the hosting for Live Say Haiti was only set up in October, though, right? Well, so I don't know how it all works, owning a website, the domain versus the hosting. But I don't think we saw any articles older than October. When you go to the articles here, they go as far back as October 9th, 2024. Princess Zara and in the Enigma, what is this? In a world filled with mysteries and secrets waiting to be uncovered, few enigmas captivate our imagination. So these are just like fake articles. Like if you've ever created a website, there'll be like Latin, just to show the placeholder of where an article should be. But like, what is this? So Live Say Haiti, copywritten since 2024. When you go to the About Us yesterday, it included 0 actual people. Like what else is there? And again, people have wondered, why does this website exist? Well, I mean, it seems to be the beginning of a campaign to get search engine optimization. Now, Bruce, she's doing better things than I am. No, I'm kidding. Just messing around. I guess I just don't have a soft spot for friends that bail on me. Not you. So, and look, I get it. We've had people that write in and say like, Dave, I can't really follow this Laura story. It's too triggering. And it's like, I get it. But like, that's and again, and by all means, it's like, I've never like demanded people follow this, but like the gall that some people would have to like think that what I'm doing is the wrong thing. As if there's a right way to handle stuff like this. Miss Danielle says AI news site. No, Bruce, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So Live Say Haiti domain registered in 2011. When was it used is another date. So why was it registered? Do you think, I mean, you can just buy a website, right? Like it can come from anywhere. I don't think, did you see the, just getting text messages. Do we need to crowdsource the money for a URL ownership report? Should have changed hands a few times. I don't even know what that means. That's how far off I am. I don't even know what that means. I'm not smart with tech stuff. Let's do this. I love that we have 700 people in the chat. Bruce and I and a few others were discussing on the Patreon yesterday if we should do a subathon on New Year's Eve possibly. And that would be a public live stream. New Year's Eve is tough because it's Tuesday, and I think I actually haven't asked Reality Steve, but I was going to see if he would be my New Year's podcast episode, which is an episode that will be. Hold on, let's see. What is a subathon on Twitch? The concept of a subathon on Twitch originates from the combination of subscriber and marathon. Okay, so we know that. A subathon started in March and ended in April after 31 days straight of streaming, including when he was asleep. In that time, he broke the record for concurrent subscribers on Twitch, and it was subsequently broken by another streamer, Kai, who had more than 300,000. So obviously, I'm not going to do a subathon that long. I would do it if I felt like that was the way to growth on YouTube. I don't think YouTube growth, like people, I need people to not subscribe, but watch. Cindy said, Troy and Tara Live Say Missionaries in Haiti have their own Live Say Haiti blog. What does that even mean? Let's Google Live Say Haiti. Is Live Say Haiti like a Live Say Haiti? Is it like a, is Live Say Haiti like a platform? I don't understand. I don't really get it. NASCAR said yes to a subathon. I bet I would be on all 12 hours. Yeah, I thought about doing it for 12 hours, but, I got a kid, and that might be, I don't know. I'll have to think. Maybe I'll do like a 3 or 4 hour thing. But like a true subathon, I don't know. Maybe that's not the right day. Maybe there's a Saturday or something that I can do it. We'll have to see. I'm trying to read your comments here. I think I got our only super chat was Teresa. So thank you, Teresa, for that. I'm guessing Teresa's watching in Belize while having a drink. Teresa, what are you drinking? Let's just take a guess here. Belize is probably 1 hour ahead of us right now. Maybe not. Is Belize equivalent to Central Standard Time? Either way, it's Friday, Belize. It's Friday, Teresa, so I won't judge you. Chris Jenner is in the chat. Good to see you. Good to see you, Chris. Denise says you're not too far from 100,000. I mean, I know that's what's very tough is, I stopped caring about the subscribers because I wanted to make sure that I was being sort of authentic to things I wanted to talk about. And a lot of times you have to burn subscribers. Like we burnt a lot of people we burnt a lot of subscribers this year. Well, I'll say our subscriber amount this year definitely, I'll show you guys in a second, this year versus past years. I mean, it went down. So here's our subscribers in the last 4 years. This chart I'm going to show you is not going to make too much sense on its face value, but I just want to show it to you. So you can see that the amount of subscribers we've got this year, this right here is 4 years from like, so there are times like this last big bump right here is probably June 10th. This is probably the trial. And it's just kind of been like, they come and they go, but we haven't had, I basically early on, massive growth right here was January to March of 2021. That's when we went full time. Since then, we've gotten new subscribers. I don't even know what this is. This is insane. I don't know why we would have gotten so many subscribers like a year and a half ago. I don't know what this could have been. I have no idea what this is. But the point is that it's like sort of a law of diminishing returns within the Bachelor world. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I'm a hell of a lot more important than just what's going on in the Bachelor world. And I don't think we've played it safe. I just think it's very, very challenging to thread the needle on YouTube between doing what people want and doing what you want. And sometimes where you meet in the middle is, stories like this, which is a very clear and important story to share. But also what I've learned is the podcast right here. You can scan that. The podcast, Bruce said Big Spike might have been Scandival. I didn't get a big audience from Scandival. And I talked about Scandival on my other channel. This is just my main channel. So, Carrie said, do a trucking stream with Megan Tugg or something fun with several different creators to pull from their viewers. That's a great idea. And here's how it's going to work. And I'll just, for the remainder of this live stream right now, we'll talk about like growth for 2025 because it's interesting to me and people can, tune in or tune out. But we got all the information from the Live Say Haiti stuff, unless someone has anything new they want to share. But my belief is starting January 1st, my podcast which is just audio. People get very confused with what's a podcast and what's not. The YouTube has been primarily interviews and, mealtime length videos, 20, 30-minute long videos. The podcast, Lori says we want to see the breaking news. The breaking news was that Mike Marcini is pregnant with his second child. They're having a baby in a month. Trippin' Pink says, I was listening to the podcast in the kitchen the other day, and my 3-year-old overheard it, and now she keeps saying baby Jingy. So here's what's interesting. And trust me, a lot of you guys are in the same boat that my mom's in and other people that have no idea the difference. This, what you're watching, is not a podcast. They're kind of very similar, but the podcast is called The Rush Hour. It is completely different. When I started Bachelor Rush Hour, it was a way to take what I was doing on YouTube and bring it to the podcast world. I quickly learned that just copy and pasting my audio from YouTube and putting it into the podcast wasn't beneficial. It was like doing it half-assed. So what I started to do is I started to make unique content just for the podcast. It's done very well. We probably had a 6-figure year just on the podcast. I don't know the numbers for sure. The YouTube channel has taken a hit because I've pulled audience away from YouTube, which is fine. I basically went from my channel making only YouTube revenue to diversifying to several other platforms. Cindy said Mike isn't pregnant, his wife is. Whatever. Thank you for the community note here. Bruce said Colton was big. Yeah, the Colton Underwood stuff was actually this right here. And this was in the fall of 2020. And then this lull was when I still wasn't full time. And then this is the Chris Harrison stuff. I mean, I could find out what this spike is. I don't really feel like diving into it right now. So anyway, the point of what I'm trying to say is this. Because the podcast has been so successful and I genuinely enjoy diversifying the content I talk about, I'm now bringing that energy back to YouTube. So I already spend, and if you're in the Patreon, you know this, I spend probably 3 hours a day, maybe 4, making the podcast because there are 2 episodes. I do one at night. Like last night, I worked from 11:30 to 1:30, and I do one at about noon till 1:30. Nancy says maybe the spike was Fiverr. No, the Clayton Eckert stuff started right over here. This is Clayton Eckert. So everything before this was just standard whatever. So this right here is, in fact, I mean, I don't even know. I'll show you. Just give me a second here. I'll show you guys. So this is my total. I'll show you my total channel. This is it. There it is. This is the stuff I share on Patreon. This is lifetime. 84,000 subscribers. That's my lifetime. Now, what you see here is just tinkering around when I wasn't, I didn't start doing anything of any value until right here. So this bigger spike is, it's kind of hard to find, November of 2022. I don't know. This could have been Katie's, what the hell is that? 250 subs. This is when my not Johnny Depp. No, I don't know. But either way, January and February of 2021, when my channel first took off, look at that. 400 subscribers a day. I mean, this is unheard of. It was also still during the pandemic. So this subscriber growth was insane. Absolutely insane. Here it was early on. This is when my channel first took off, was during the Colton Underwood stuff. And this is when we initially started to make a few bucks. And then it all kind of went away until the end of December. I started covering Claire Crawley's. Claire was going through her breakup. And 52 million views. Unbelievable stuff. Greg Grippo, then the Michelle stuff. Yeah, it was probably some sort of breakup. But either way, it doesn't matter. I could figure that out, but it doesn't matter. And of course, and then since Clayton started, this was November of 2023. This is when the Clayton stuff started. So you can see like, you know, things come and go, but this is not the biggest story I ever had. You know, this is the Clayton stuff is probably the longest ongoing story, but it's not the biggest. Absolutely not the biggest. Laura says, hey, Lori, how good to see you. Just wanted to say thank you so much. You inspired me to make my very own YouTube channel with my niche on doll-related content. I finally took that leap. Oh, good. I'm happy to hear. Laura, you came to Chicago, right? Is that where we met? I want to make sure I have the right person. Sometimes I can't tell from the chat room. So anyway, what I plan to do now that I'm recording my, now that I'm going to be doing a video version of my podcast, I'm going to have a ton of non-Bachelor content. You know, there's going to be drones, and like this morning I talked about the beef between Elon Musk and Laura Loomer, like random stuff that's in the world of entertainment. Blake Lively, Amy said, I found you at the beginning of the pandemic. Because look, I mean, eventually you like now that YouTube is not my big breadwinner. I thought I saw you there, and I only saw you there by accident, right? You were visiting. Remind me, Lori, do you live in Puerto Rico? Are you from Puerto Rico? You got to imagine how hard it is to try to. Oh, wait a second. There were several people I met in Chicago. There's the people I met from Puerto Rico in Chicago that I randomly met, and then I met some people at my Zany show. But I think you ended up coming to my Zany show, right? Oh man, that was a couple years ago, and I was there. What a fun trip! Anyway, so yeah, now that I'm going to be doing my podcast on YouTube is shifting. Let's see, YouTube TV display updates. YouTube is adding new features. YouTube TV is rolling out new features and improved streaming. They changed the layout. So YouTube is going to be even more friendly to watch on your TV. YouTube beats Netflix. So what might happen long-term is, like, long-term speaking, we might just turn into a TV show. The Rush Hour podcast. No, Jen, Depth versus Herd was on my other channel, not this one. So I don't know. Sometimes a random story takes off and you just get a bunch of new downloads. I don't know. It just happens. It's all organic. I didn't pay for, and this is what is so great about YouTube is I didn't pay for one of those. You know, a lot of people will throw ad money at getting seen. Completely organic. To have zero ad dollars spent for your business is like such a beautiful perk of the new world we live in. Bruce says we need to get Dave his own late show. Yeah, so here's a general view that I have. Teresa says I'm from early pandemic days, car battery Dave. Oh, what a great time, Teresa. So my idea of what I want next. Let me walk you through a clear vision. The Rush Hour podcast right here is now moving to YouTube. It may take a while to grow. It may not. It may take a month or two of like solid twice a day people watching. But I'm going to have 2 episodes a day. You will be able to get them on YouTube. The way and you might not get notifications right away. And by the way, we have 5 downvotes. And this is the kind of the frustrating part is somebody just hit the downvote. The frustrating part is I get audiences can be super entitled. Like, no, we want you might only want the Clayton Eckert stuff. I have to continue to grow my business in a way that provides me entertainment. Like, I have to enjoy what I'm doing, or else it's like, imagine talking about something you don't like. That would be very hack. Now, I like talking about this because I'm justice oriented. I like that. But at the same time, I don't talk about this unless there's something to talk about. And there has been a lot to talk about. There has been a lot to talk about. So we have been talking about. I mean, this Live Say Haiti thing's crazy. I'll always continue to cover this. But what you see here is the different playlists that I have. Now, I'm going to probably clean up some of these older playlists and just cut them out. But the playlist that I have here, Bachelor Nation News, that's what all my Bachelor stuff is. The Rush Hour podcast is a new playlist I've just created, and I'm just starting to populate it. I've added some videos to it just to get it going, but this playlist is going to be where you need to be to get daily updates. And you might say, Dave, I'm not seeing your content. I'm telling you right now, every morning, every afternoon, that will be updated. You might not get those updates. That's just the way the algorithm works. The way to ensure you get these updates, and I don't think we have a alert button. I don't think there's an alert button on this, but is to make sure that you click on the videos. When you click on the videos, YouTube will continue to show them to you. But a lot of times people say, Dave, I haven't seen you. You haven't uploaded anything in a while. And I go, you're absolutely wrong. I'm here every day. I add stuff every single day. So NASCAR says downvotes here are ridiculous. That's just the way it works. You just get people, and it's whatever. Israel says, what did Praise the Load Laura do now? She may have created a fake website or paid someone to create a fake website to redirect some of the hate and rewrite some of the story. What else do we have? What else do we have going on? Ash says, Dave, thanks for all you do. You're a very hard worker. You're a hilarious comedian, great husband, father, and provider, and have great hair. Thanks for the entertainment. Oh, thanks so much. I appreciate it. Well, one of the things I'm trying to do in 2025 is just to, it's been crazy, right? Because I've tried to maintain my 1 to 3 videos a day on YouTube and double up the podcast. And it's like, I can't do that. So by creating the video element of the podcast, while that will be extra work, I'll now be providing YouTube those two videos a day. Things I'm going to do in addition to that on YouTube as bait to get people over to the podcast would be things like Bachelor recaps, even bigger Clayton Eckert updates. Like, I'll still make those videos, which will be a deeper dive into some of these stories, but then I'll also have my daily Rush Hour, which it will be seen sort of like a morning TV show and an afternoon TV show. So here's the big vision. I'll say this and then we'll get the hell out of here. And then I'll go over to Patreon. The big vision is when this takes off on YouTube, it will continue to gain growth and continue to grow on the podcast app. When this happens, my big upgrade is to get to a space where I can buy or lease, a venue that's kind of like a brewery or even a like wine tasting location somewhere. I think here's why I think breweries work. Breweries generally have a lot of space for tasting rooms. They have some form of like a beer license to serve alcohol, and they can also have like a lounge area. My goal is to make a live show that has a live audience that can come to the brewery, have a drink or a coffee, sit and be a live audience to that show. And the show simultaneously goes out to YouTube once or twice a day. Maybe it's one time a day. Maybe how it works is it's a show that comes out at 2 p.m. East Coast time. And then after the show's live, we have an editor cut up the different segments, and then they can post that throughout the day on social media the next day or things like that. I'm not entirely sure. But what I think is the right recipe is if I have a producer in the right sort of environment, it would be sort of like a new age version of what has become late night TV. Variety guest, good interviews, things like that. And it would be in an area that is, we got another downvote. Thank you so much. I was going to flick you off, but I know it's not most of you guys. I think just rewind if you want the Bachelor stuff. I'm talking about something else now. It's so hard to keep your focus. I won't be watching the downvotes. When I shoot this, but I think a brewery would work well because you could possibly have like some sort of synergy there where you've got a live functioning, venue that has that element of just, because I love coffee shops already. I love coffee shops. I love breweries. I just love the environment that's there. Bring your dog in, do whatever. And then if you did have like a showroom that aired the show, you'd just be like, come and watch if you want. And if you don't, we won't have anyone there. Like it literally wouldn't matter if people were in the room or not, other than we're going to shoot this show anyway. And then when you have special occasions like a stand-up show or things like that, it could also be done there. So that's the overall goal. And then at that level, you could expect, like, we're talking like 3-4 camera setup. You could expect that there would be a lot of fun coming in, because if you're at that level, you're probably having fun sponsorships. You're having top tier guests. You could have music artists and things like that. And then you could take it to other venues. You could take it to the West Coast. You could take it to New York. You could, keep it lean enough so that it can travel, but also make it like a home for kind of like a Andy Cohen's Watch What Happens Now, but not being afraid to have like more, I don't know, fleshed out conversations. Maybe a combination between Watch What Happens Now from the intimacy standpoint of the way they shoot that, because they do a good job of keeping it intimate, but also have like a Pod Save America the way they do their live shows. So yeah. Israel said we had a shop next to a brewery once, $5 beer gallon refills. Oh yeah. Yeah, breweries are pretty cool. Super chat from Nancy, because downvotes. Thank you for the $2. Yeah, these downvotes are ridiculous. Who are these people? I always wish I could just like block a downvote and just say like, it would just be, again, it's not to like weed people out, like do whatever, but downvotes, upvotes, they just don't matter. The only thing I say is they get annoying because there's a graphic that comes out and I don't know how to shut it off and it just gets in my way. But anyway, 300, I'll tell you what, I'd rather play to the 374 upvotes than the 8 downvotes. But that's sadly the result of what happens when you veer off topic and share something you care about. Bruce says Vancouver, Washington. Yeah, let's go. We'll get the van out there. All right. So yeah, those are, and by the way, I think I could start doing that live. Like I would start building out that live show. We have a member of our audience that is works in news. She's a news producer and on-air talent, and like I would probably hire people that know on-air stuff and know how to do all the tech stuff and all of that. Yeah, it would be a lot of fun. It'd be a lot of fun to like sit down for 2 or 3 hours in the morning, plan out the show, and then just do it. Just a 1-hour show every day and make it like as high quality as possible. A couple jokes about what's going on in the news that day. I think we could do it. I think we could nail it. And we're just not there, but I see that vision and I see it more clearly every day. To be quite honest, I see it more clearly every day. But anyhow, what's going to happen next is I am going to go on Patreon. I just got a text from, I'll respond to some of these texts I'm getting. But I'm going to go on to Patreon right now and we will make the afternoon podcast. So yeah, January 1st will be January 1st will be the first video episodes of the Rush Hour. It won't look much different to you guys because you'll just start watching what I'm doing now, which is going to be a little bit less Bachelor focused, but it'll still have these stories in them. It'll just have all the other stuff too. Oh, Jen with a super chat. Thanks for all you do. $20. Thank you so much, Jen. That's very kind. I appreciate that. Jen, lifetime access to the brewery. And by the way, maybe it wouldn't be at a brewery. Like who knows? Maybe maybe I mean, this is going to sound crazy, but like maybe I buy a chapel. Hold on, I'm not trying to start a cult, but I did a stand-up show at a chapel in Cincinnati that was, abandoned. And I was like, dang, there's a lot of good energy that you can do. Like there's something, there's different venues, but I don't know where it would be. It could be an old garage, but I would love to buy a place. And I thought a brewery would be nice because a lot of times breweries are already have the space because they're sort of like factory setups, and it's kind of like you could build a set within a brewery pretty easily, kind of like a soundstage. Cynthia says, as someone from the UK who follows you, keep going, Dave. Love your content. Thanks. I appreciate that. Anyhow, yeah, that's it. That's it for me. Thanks for the super chats, guys. I think we had 6 total. Let me read them one more time to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Nancy, $2. Teresa, $20. Oh, Stephanie, $10 says, get that play button. You deserve it. Everyone here, please like, sub, and share to one social or person. Oh, thank you, Stephanie. Nancy with the $2 because downvotes. So two super chats from Nancy. Thank you. And then Jen with the 20. Thanks for all you do. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. You guys have been great. Onwards and upwards. Just going to continue to try to grow. Don't want to be stagnant. Don't want to be stuck in the niche. That kind of like, we know it's pretty evident that Bachelor content has slowly but surely been, going away. So we'll still be here to cover it. It's like when there's a big story like Jen and Devin, when there's a big story, I'll probably be all over that story. And when there's not, it's like, there's just certain, we'll be here for the goods. YouTube's not going anywhere. Just going to be sort of considering what's best for my creativity. And then, of course, in 2025, working on the live show, which I hope to start doing by spring of 2025. That's my goal, is to start doing a couple, and I'll just end on this, but start doing and I know this sounds like a whole lot of random things, but there are a lot of random things going on. My goal for 2025 is to create a one-of-its-kind stand-up true crime show that is a live show that breaks down the Clayton Laura case. I've been working on it with a couple people. Whether this documentary happens or not is out of my control, but what's not out of my control is how I tell this story. And I think if I tell this story right, that I could walk this story into Netflix and sell it. I truly do. I think I could sell it. And I can't put my faith in other people to be in control of my destiny. And I think maybe that's some advice for all of us, is like, don't let other people be in control of what you can get accomplished. So I'm going to do this live show, in a bunch of different markets. I'm going to probably do it for like literally audiences of 10 or 20 people while I work it out. And while I get my voice with regards to how I'm going to tell the story, I'm going to buy a projector and I'm just going to go around in very small environments telling the story until I feel like it's ready. And then I'll put together maybe like a mini tour, like, the Portland, Oregons, Seattle, I'm due, obviously Scottsdale, Los Angeles, New York, Atlanta, Chicago, places that I think we can get a good audience. And what I'm going to need from you guys, and I'll do the PR, I'll do the, the press and all of that, but what I'm going to need is people to like bring your friends to it. And by that point, I'll know that the story's like airtight. And then finally, what usually happens when you're done telling a story is you record it. And I've got a documentary company, a crew that I'm going to, fork over the money to shoot probably like 2 or 3 live shows with a live lit audience, which will be very much TED Talk style. It'll be shot TED Talk style, and it'll be whatever becomes the final product. And then from there, we may take it to Edinburgh Fringe Fest, which is a festival that Baby Reindeer premiered at, or we may just keep it local. We'll have to see. You'd come to Atlanta? Yeah. Because I would love to tour on just my stand-up, and maybe that comes after this, or maybe I do one stand-up show and then I do one true crime show. I really don't know. But I think with our community at the size it is, we can pull that off. Maybe I'll come to Montreal. I'd love to come to Montreal. Okay, so I have to go right now. It's 12:03 to Patreon, where I will continue doing exactly what I'm doing now, talking to you guys. But for the private membership community, it's $5 a month. If you want to join, patreon.com/Dave Neal. Erica said it will be a lit audience. Oh, it sure will be. I'll probably get sued. I mean, I'm going to have to be careful, like legally, to make sure that obviously all my bases are covered. There's a Fringe in Orlando. Yeah. This story, Obviously ongoing. It'll probably involve a robust question and answer from audience members, but I think it'll be, I'll definitely be back in Scottsdale for sure. And I would love to have guests when I'm in different neighborhoods. Like I'll probably go to Addison in Texas and have Reality Steve. Yeah, there'll be a lot. And then hopefully when that's over, hopefully the story's over. And then I can retire that story and I'll post the full live story to YouTube eventually, whether it's a 90-minute story or whatever. I'll have the full story with the graphics and it'll be my version of a TED Talk and it'll live. And then however she wants to rewrite history won't matter because we will have it out there. So I'll definitely be going to San Francisco for sure. And like I said, maybe I'll do one night of stand-up and then one night I'll do I'll do a stand-up show and then a different night I'll do the true crime, one versus the other. Or maybe I'll do it in the same night. Maybe I'll do an 8 o'clock show that's stand-up and a 10 o'clock show that's true crime. And the true crime there will be jokes, but it'll obviously be at the expense in respect of the serious topic. So I'll have to find some sort of trigger warning to let people know, hey, it's a dark stuff. The trigger warnings will be long, from miscarriages to racial things to DV. There's a lot, but I think we can thread that needle and talk about it in a way of respect. So, of course, yeah. So I appreciate you guys. It means a lot, and I've been working on this, and it's been a little slow the last week or so because of the holidays. But I make the podcast at night, 11 to 1, and then I've been working on the timeline of this live show after that, sometimes 1 to 3. Boy, it's exhausting, but this is what has to be done. Oh, thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Polly. Thank you, everybody. All right, that's it for me. We're done. I'm off to Patreon, and then I'll be here in another hour or two with the podcast, The Rush Hour with Dave Neal. This is a sign-off that I do on Patreon. I end every Friday afternoon episode the same way. I say, walk out of office, wherever you work, put up your middle fingers, and tell your boss to go fuck themselves. You don't have to. It's just a fun thing we do on Fridays because today is for you. All right, have a good one, everybody. Happy final Friday of the year, and stay tuned for updates. I'll be on Patreon in less than 1 minute. We'll see you there. Patreon.com/Dave Neal.